And hello, Nicole. Hello.
Hello, Eric. Hello.
I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be like I'm so excited to talk about this double eviction. No, it's
No,
another double letdown.
I'm double angry. That's what I am right now. I'm
Well,
sad and
I know. Well, you know what I am not sad about? The person that we have here to talk about today's episode with. I am so excited. But first, let me let everybody know, wherever you guys are watching this, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever we make content, you guys following there, liking there, subscribing, commenting are all great free ways to help support our shows. Of course, we are live right now, so make sure that you share it because sharing is caring. And the kids say we're supposed to tell people to thumbs up and hit the bell on YouTube. So I forgot that, but do that. Like it's in the like, share, subscribe part that's implied. Hit your bell or thumbs up. It's liking, right? Anyway, look. If you're like, where do we find you in those places? Just head over to hellofriendspod.com, click on that Find Us Live page. You'll find Nicole's socials, my socials, all the Hello Friends socials, our schedule, and more.
yes.
Yay.
And as always, if you're listening to the audio podcast version of this episode, please be sure to leave it a 5-star rating and a positive, happy, good review. And of course, share the audio podcast with your podcast listening friends and family as well, because again, sharing is caring in all ways, shapes, and forms.
It is. It is. Now, Nicole,
Yes.
I'm going to let you do the honors.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Our guest today is someone who I wanted to see play more of Big Brother Canada last season. We were convinced he was going to win. We were convinced he was going to be, do they do Canada's favorite player? Let's just say AFP. I was convinced he was going to be AFP. He is absolutely incredible. One of our favorite people, friend of the show. It is the one, the only, the incredible, edible, Hira.
Hira!
How's it going, guys?
Hello,
Thank you
Hira.
for having me. And always a pleasure talking BBCan with you guys.
Yes, we love you. But we're
I love
angry.
you guys. I know. My adrenaline is rushing, and that was double eviction. I hate that. Anyways, we'll talk about it, but the results were not ideal.
Agreed.
They were not. They were not
Yeah.
ideal. But so much to cover from tonight. Where do you want to start, Nicole?
I want to start at the top. I know we have a lot to say about the double, but I think we have to start right at the beginning with kind of the aftermath of the power of veto ceremony. I guess I wanted to start with what I thought was kind of humorous, was them all kind of hiding from Victoria in the one room
Yeah.
after like making a big move, and Beth is all like, haha, I did it, pounding her chest,
Yeah.
and then they all hide.
Yeah, they. I was actually surprised with Vic's reaction. She wasn't as. I thought she was gonna be angry, but she was legit shocked, which was surprising to me.
How do you think about the way she handled it? Do you think it was good?
I I think she handled it good, but then they got to a point in the week when I think it probably started to dawn on her like, oh damn, I am the target, and like I might be going home. Like her like campaign was fierce, but like it was like she was all over the place. She was crying a lot to the Sunsetters group, and she was just bashing the other side like crazy. Like just you saw that argument with Tara and like going at it with Rohan. But like initially, I thought she handled it good. Like I didn't see any of that stuff where she went up to the HOH room and talked to the Jed, Ty, and Beth and telling them, hey, I thought I was, that was my role in the alliance. So I thought she handled it well that way.
I thought it was genius gameplay. I mean, I said it when I was watching it play out on the feeds. I think that if there is a best way you can handle being blindsided by an alliance, I feel like that, and maybe that came off insincere, but I feel like it was the textbook way she handled it. She hit all the perfect points. Like, she made it be her fault. She told them she understood. She's not going to come after them. She pointed out how her being in the house would be better for them and that they can still work together and that she'd be the target. Like, she hit every perfect point and did not blow up. And when she walked out of the room, they all were like, oh God, we made a mistake. We believe her. She's that good. We believe her. To which kind of then Jedson was like, yeah, and that's why we have to get rid of her. Like, we don't want to, but the fact that we're literally saying this right now is why we have to get rid of her. So
I
Yeah,
agree.
she,
Go ahead.
go ahead, no.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think, she's somebody that we often kind of go back and forth about because she is so entertaining, but sometimes her entertaining quality can get in the way of her gameplay, which we'll see in a little bit with the house meeting. But I think prior to the house meeting, she did have all the little duckies in a row and was kind of doing the best thing she could.
Yeah, she's one of those players, like she's a great entertainment, and she made some moves based on how I think she will be perceived in Big Brother like history. She wanted to make these moves that are like, oh, this is what Canada wants to see. But sometimes for your own game, it's probably not the best thing to do just to give a wow factor, you know? Like sometimes you gotta take the simple route and not make it too complicated. And I think that's what she was catering to, being this like super genius, this crazy hella great player. And she was so entertaining, but they can bite you in the ass at the end. Like that was the, I think, her downfall there, because everyone saw it like, oh my god, she's actually like the invisible HOH. How she handled it, she got out Latoya, which was one of the biggest threats, and she got her out in such a strong way. Like that week, I was such a fan of Victoria. Like she, even though I hated seeing Latoya go, but I was such a fan of how she made it happen. But people saw that then.
And I mean, I just have to say, probably for one of the last times, because we know that when a Big Brother Canada season ends, a BBUS cast is usually announced, and then usually the previous season of Big Brother's cast becomes irrelevant. I'm so sorry, Nicole. But here's the thing that I want to say now, because I don't feel I'll have a lot more chances to say it. Um, I
Are you
could
saying
not
we're
help.
irrelevant? That's what he's saying to us.
I'm saying you are irrelevant. No,
I kind of
I,
like it right now.
I am saying that watching Victoria campaign reminded me a lot of you on All Stars. We rarely see people never give up in a campaign, eat, sleep, breathe, try every single thing they can throw on the wall. Now, differently for Victoria, she didn't go against a fan favorite, so no one's going to complain about it. But I just think it's a testament to your game too. I, watching Victoria, just was getting all flashbacks of you. I couldn't figure out why I loved Victoria's game so much and why I loved her for the feed so much. And it just dawned on me earlier today. It was very much flashing back to you, never sleeping and just trying all your options the whole week. And I wanted to say that before a BB23 cast is announced and we're like, All Stars, what?
To which I will say to those applying, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for Victoria.
Yeah.
So good.
So just don't even try is the point.
No, I mean, speaking of campaigns, so before the house meeting, that's Victoria's campaign. I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on Tara's campaign. What do we think about bringing the more personal into the game? Do you think that is, I guess, a game piece to use to say, listen, Kiefer, I want to be here because Monday is a big anniversary for my family. I'd love to be here to win something on that day. Like, do you think all's fair in like Love, Horror, and Big Brother? Do you think that's not really relevant to the game? Do you think where'd that come from? Because like I have my opinions about it, but I want to hear what you guys say.
Well, I want to hear what Hira
I,
has to say. People, I think, know what I think.
yeah, I don't think it's a good way to campaign. I don't think that's gonna make someone swing to your side and be like, okay, I'm gonna keep you because for certain personal reasons that you want to. Like, it was great seeing that, but like that's not gonna make me keep you, Tara. I think her campaign was really just to kind of be like, I'm just here. I'm trying to get by week to week. I have no plan. I have no alliances. So she's not really of a threat. Like, she doesn't have to do much. Victoria is a big threat. So yeah, Tara's campaign really isn't much of a campaign. I think she was staying no matter who was beside her, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how
Yeah.
you feel, Nicole?
I feel that yes, everything becomes a game piece once you say it, but I think with something like that, it's tough because yes, that pulls on the heartstrings, and yes, there are certain people that will go, oh wow, that would be beautiful if you stayed, and that was a pivotal point for your family. But what I would say is that's kind of unfair, if that's the right word, to put on Kiefer, of like, hey Kiefer, I'm unloading this on you, so please keep me here. Otherwise, this anniversary for my family and the memory of my brother. Like, if I was Kiefer, I'd be like, oh my god, like this is a lot of pressure. Like, you're telling me all of this, and this is why you should stay. Like, I'd be like, this is not relevant to game, but I feel so guilty. Like, that would hurt my heart, like really badly.
I mean, look, the timing in which she said it, if this is the first time this is being brought up, we know from the live feeds, Tara is saying, or she said on the live feeds, that she brought that up because Victoria was crying and bringing up her life story about how she grew up and, the struggles that she's had in her life. And Tara was just kind of saying, I didn't make that part of the game, but if she's doing that, you need to know what it means to my family. And I don't, I am married to someone who lost a sibling at a very early age in life, and I don't think that that is something that somebody would be like, haha, let me try and use my dead relative as a pawn in the game. I don't think that that's what Tara was doing.
Yeah, I don't think Tara that was part of really her like campaign to stay. I think more of her campaign was just to like tell people, hey, Victoria is a bigger target, and she's going after Jed and Beth. That was mainly her campaign. They just showed that. I think the edit made it look like that was a part of her campaign,
The
but
edit seemed like that was like part of the pitch, and that's why I said I viewed it from like a Kiefer perspective. Like, oh my goodness, like that's a lot of pressure to put on the guy. Let's say they were voting out Tara. Let's say it was already decided, and now Kiefer's sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, oh my god!" Like, my heart would hurt so bad. So I guess you guys are right. I guess it is more so her campaign was her campaign, but the edit made it seem like that was like a component of it. Oh, I don't know. I felt that way.
I mean, obviously they're going to use that. Like when you give them that piece, they're going to use. I mean, think back to earlier in the season when we said our heart broke for Victoria when she talked about how she grew up in orphanages and stuff. So I mean, they're always going to use the emotional, humanizing aspect of anyone's story on a reality TV show. They want us to feel the connection, to tune in, to root for Tara, so
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that they used it, but I do think that I don't know. I don't know. I think it's the beginning of the end of everything about this season.
No, don't.
this is yeah. I saw something. People saying this is the season finale
It
tonight.
might as well be.
It's I'm so surprised. This is gonna be a steamroll. I think from to the end now for Jed, Beth, and Ty.
I mean, not to jump around, but look at the end of the episode with Beth jumping up and down and cheering and being like, I did it! I did it! You did what? What did you do? And by the way, that's so rude to do to Tara and Tina, like in their faces. Like, oh, I can't.
Hey, but Beth, you got to give Beth some credit. She did have a pretty good week. Like
Yeah,
her
no,
speeches were fierce,
she
which surprised
executed the plans other people gave her perfectly.
No,
Um,
here I hear what you're saying. Like she still did it, and I guess again this is off on a tangent. But Hira, do you think Beth has it in her to turn against Jed and Ty before final three, or do you think she's a type to be more like loyal till the end, and all of a sudden she's sitting next to one of them, or they take each other over her, or do you think she might pull some strings prior?
I think she will like now that she's closer to Jed, I
Mm-hmm.
think she will definitely put the idea out there, or if it's her chance, she'll take the shot at Ty before final three because those two might take each other, and she's gonna have that in her mind. So I think she will she will
I
take
agree.
a chance shot at Ty before final three,
I believe that too.
and I think she
what
has it in her.
Mm-hmm.
I think if she's gonna take a shot at anyone, she is taking it at Ty. I think there's 0% chance though that she actively goes after both of them at any point. I think if her
Not
hands
both.
are tied and she's forced, she goes after Ty. But no, I think she does not willingly make plans to get rid of any of them, either of them.
Oh,
Really?
I need more of a dynamic. Listen, I fought against the idea of a steamroll for the rest of the season. I said, no, it's going to continue shifting. The Rose show has got this. And then I can't. But before we get to that shit show, let's start with the house meeting, which I don't even know what I was watching. I got uncomfortable. I got so uncomfortable. I wanted to leave the room and I wasn't even in there.
That was an intense yelling match. I would have loved to be there for that one.
It
And
was
it was in
still
such a good spot in the backyard, man. That's the best. Like the sun shining. They were having a good time there.
I think my favorite tweet that I put out was they let us watch it for a good 30 minutes, but then the feeds went down for like 20. And when it came back in, they were all up in the HOH room. And I think I screen grabbed it and I said, you know, when mom and dad make you come inside because you're annoying the neighbors. All I could think was the poor people at the hotel across the street, or I think, isn't there like a Wendy's right there? All these people are just outside living their life, and you hear this whole cast screaming at each other. I thought that must have been hysterical. But I mean, we watched it
Yeah,
all go down. I think the only new bit of information that we learned from the edit that we didn't get to see on the feeds was her calling out the oddballs and Jedson being like, oh, 7 people. We did not see that when the fight was actually happening. I thought that was interesting.
Tara called it out, no? Or was it Victoria?
No, Victoria called it out, but Jed in the edit, you saw him go, oh, 7 people. Jed was so focused on collecting all of the information that was coming out of this meeting. It was like a little information sponge.
Oh yeah, the two of them, absolutely. I think the one thing that stuck out to me, and again, I got caught up on certain things, was um Victoria's kind of coming at Tara. And I understand they show her in the DR say, listen, I have to come for her hard because I'm up against her. That's my only chance of staying. But I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't know if this is a common opinion, but I think it's a very below the belt statement in any Big Brother season, game, whatever, to use the words you don't deserve. And I think that's taking it out of game. That's no longer talking about someone's strategy or what someone's been doing or alliances. The words you don't deserve, that should never even be stated in that house, because obviously they all deserve to be there because they are there. So I think once you start saying you don't deserve to be here, I think even everybody in that room kind of had that moment of what, how do and then we saw Tina react to that, we saw Ro react to that, and it gets to a point where it's all right, maybe wheel that in a little bit. And you can tell Victoria felt bad because after she said it, she kind of sat there ugh. But I want to know how you guys felt about, I don't know. I feel like maybe you could throw everything at somebody, but maybe not the kitchen sink.
Yeah, I think she tried to use her like personal opinion and some of the personal things Tara has said through the game, like if she's missing her kids or family, and use it as a way of telling everyone that all she says is she does she doesn't want to be here, she doesn't deserve to be here. Like that's the only thing she has against Tara. That's the only thing she can use, and
Yeah.
it's not gonna work in that situation. That's like which is why I'm glad she also, in that meeting she went after a bit after Rohan, and then she kind
Mhm.
of also tried to bring Brayden in it, but she didn't go after Brayden as much as she should have.
True.
Like, well, yeah, overall, like yeah, that's the only thing she had against Tara. Like nothing really she could say to to like out Tara, I feel like. And yeah, she didn't need to bring her personal opinions about deserving to be here or not. That was not necessary.
It is not the popular opinion. All of the live feed watchers, for the most part, can't stand Tara because all she does all day long is complain and say she doesn't want to be the first juror, wants to leave, blah, blah, blah. So most live feed watchers are with Victoria on that one. They feel, yes, all she does is complain with kind of like what they said during the argument. I know they didn't air that part. I will
But who
say,
really
what?
who really wants to be the first juror though, you know?
Nobody. Although
Like yeah.
Ryan Ballantyne, if you saw his tweet today, he said him being the first juror was the best thing that ever happened for his mental health, and that it's great to be there and be alone.
That's hindsight, right?
Yeah, sure,
I'm
hindsight.
sure when he was in that situation, he would not want to be the first
Exactly.
juror.
Well, if we believe him.
The way I see it, it's like you're eating a big bowl of pasta. And as you're eating it, you're like, this is so good. And then you go, I really shouldn't be eating this. No, but it's so good. Oh, but I shouldn't be eating this. I feel like that's the Big Brother house. Like live feeds, you're gonna catch people when they're like, oh, I'm bored. Oh, like I miss my kids. Oh, I don't want to be the first juror. And I think if you followed anybody around with a camera, they complain so much more in their everyday life than they would admit. And I think sometimes we put too much weight on that. And like here, obviously, I think you can attest to this. The house does get boring. I don't care if you're a super fan or a recruit or whatever. There are days where you go, damn, I wonder what my family's doing, or I don't want to be here. Screw them all. I don't know why I applied. Like everybody, you go through like all the emotions. So I get
You're
it.
never gonna.
I,
Sorry, go ahead, Hira.
so I do agree that yeah, she shouldn't say it all the time. Like it does get
Yes.
annoying. And me, especially someone with wife and a daughter, I did miss them a lot, and I thought about it, but I never wanted to be that guy to bring it up. There was a person on our season who always talked about missing home and wanted to leave. I'm not gonna name no names, but you guys probably know who it was. Um, and it got annoying. I can see how it gets annoying. That's why I went in there. I'm like, the less I talk about my own daughter and my wife, I'm gonna miss them less. It's gonna be easier for me. I don't want to make it harder for myself, and also it's not gonna annoy people. And I didn't want to do that. And
So
yeah, I can see that.
So to be clear, you're on my side. That is the way all Big Brother fans feel. None of us want to hear you complaining about missing home, missing your family. A Big Brother,
Yes.
if you forget, you can do it. Do it when the live feeds are down. You cannot say you are a fan of this show and not know that the fans will be pissed when you complain about being there, when the majority of people want to be on the show, have applied, try. Just know that's one of the things you shouldn't say.
I
If
agree
you're
with that.
trying not to piss off the fandom, when you say that, the fandom gets pissed off. And if you're doing
Yeah,
it every day, you're really going to annoy them.
yeah, you do not want to be that person in the house that is always talking about back home because they're gonna use that against you, as
Yep.
Victoria did.
And by the way, that would be me. To be clear, of the many reasons why I will never play this game, I know that would be me. I would be like, I wonder what my hub's doing right now. I wonder if he's taking care of him. I wonder if he's helping him. I wonder if he made dinner. I wonder what's going on in my house. I wonder how my dog's doing. You guys want to hear about my dog's name's Charlie? He likes this food and this food and this food. I miss home. Why did I do this? That would be me. I am aware. So I'm never putting myself in that position.
Okay, I do hear what you guys, maybe because I didn't live with anybody that was constantly saying they wanted to go home. So maybe that's why I didn't feel that sensation of like, oh my God, then just go home then. And I guess it's true if you're watching it all day, every day. It's kind of like, then why are you there? But I guess, again, devil's advocate, I think sometimes people don't know how they react. Like even a super fan, like I think once you're actually in it, you kind of don't realize like, oh wow, I am complaining more than I thought I would. I thought I would have fun. So yeah, but I do hear what you're saying. It does get annoying. So I'll just stop.
And look, and I do agree. I will never know what it's like to have children and miss your kids. I agree. That was one of the conversations that came out on the live feeds. Like Tara and Tina were saying, these people will never know what it is like for us to miss our kids. I think that there is truth that, of course, that must be devastating. Of course, you know what that's like, Hira. You made a human being and you left it alone. So like, I get it. It is sad. So like she is allowed to have those feelings. That's the part where I felt bad for her. They didn't show it in the fight, but she was like, fine, I just won't tell my feelings to anyone. I guess I can't say when I'm upset.
Yes, don't. Especially when it comes to your own family. Like
Right.
for anyone watching that has a family and would want to go on the show, just figure out a way where you're talking to yourself only and not to other house guests about missing home. Don't do it.
I think
Because
you could
everyone
do
misses
it.
home.
You just gotta know when.
Do you see that like equals like when Victoria said, "Oh my God, okay, you have kids, but we all have partners, we all have siblings." Like, do you think? Because I don't know, but like as like a father, do you think like have like a child is more like, well, if you have kids, that's very very different? Because I don't know, or do you think like it's kind of like, well, everybody has people?
I definitely do think if you have kids, it is more, but like no one else is gonna understand that. So you can't say that because
Of course
to
it's
other people,
more.
their friends and your mom or dad or your siblings is just as important to them because they've never had kids. So that's why you can't say, oh, my family is more like
Yeah.
I miss them more because I have kids. You can never say that because you're valuing your kids more than someone else's siblings, and you can't do that. So that will get annoying. So Victoria
And
is right in that sense. Everyone has a family or friends that they left behind.
It's interesting.
yes, I would say, except that as rational thinking adults, we can, and children are different. A child can't take care of himself. Your parents can, unless they're dealing with health issues. Your siblings can if they are of equal age to you. A child does not understand why mommy or daddy are gone and not there when they wake up. The ratio is not the same. So I get it. It is harder for parents. I don't know why anyone would argue that point. I think it 100% is harder for parents leaving little kids alone in that house. Just the point is, people don't want to hear it all day long because everyone is self-centered and only cares about themselves.
And then you're in that house with so many emotions. People, I 100% agree with that. Like obviously having kids, leaving them is totally much more different than leaving your able and
Yeah,
non-dependent siblings or your hopefully non-dependent parents or something.
yeah,
But like in that house, when your emotions are running high, people just do not want to hear it. That's the problem,
right. They just don't want to hear
especially
it.
if it's over and over. You know.
But now I do want to give every parent on my cast a hug. Damn,
Yeah.
that's sad.
It's the same.
Shout out to Cliff.
I mean, to that
Yeah.
point, the one thing that I not to bring up All Stars again, the one thing that I said to Nicole when she went on, I was like, understand that the people that have families and kids will never prioritize you over their family. It's the same exact thing as well. I truly feel the parents that play the game will always, because of the bond with their kids, I think for the most part, is always putting their family first in a way that a player that does not have children might. And not all players, it's not 100%, but I think 90% of the time, people aren't going to go, do this for my kid or help this stranger I just met 2 days ago that I'll never see again.
True. Okay. You guys are right.
Yeah.
What about, I thought it was funny too during the fight with the whole, oh, so you're admitting you were the invisible HOH? And she was like, yes. I was like, oh, because she had to, because she was so cornered and she kind of already said it. And I give her a lot of credit for having to face like the firing squad of like, so what you're saying is.
She did earlier.
Yeah.
She did it in the first meeting upstairs. Like before the house meeting when she went up to talk to them right after HOH. She admitted it to that group then. Everyone, I think, knew before the house meeting. I think it went through the house before, which is why I think Tara was like, oh, so you're admitting it now?
Gotcha.
So nobody was surprised. Tara was just like, oh, you're willing to admit it now.
Yeah, and another good point Tara brought up was like, hey, you pinned it on Ty, so that was a good point.
That was a very good point. How do you think she, like, in her handling of the invisible HOH, do you think she did a good job? Do you think she should have not told anybody at all, including Kiefer? Do you think she should have told more people?
It was, look, Victoria did a great job. Like, it was entertaining. It was fun, just like how she wanted to do it. But the person she took out, man, it was a waste of an invisible HOH. She
And
did not need to take Austin out. Like, this was a perfect opportunity to take out Ty or Jed and pin it on the other side. Why did you pick that side? It just doesn't make sense to me.
but thank God she realized it. I think that was the biggest frustration of all of us watching was like, Victoria, you're literally taking out the only people that want to work with you and truly aren't coming after you. So thank God in her interview with Arissa, she said that and was like, don't know why I went after Austin. That was real stupid on my part.
And Austin's probably sitting at home like, why?
Yeah.
It's the worst. The worst. Like the person admits, like, shouldn't have targeted her. Damn.
Yeah, karma, as Austin was saying last week, karma came back and bit her in the bum there. The wrong side. She picked the wrong side, and I think she realized.
And literally a week later, it's not going to end well. We get to our first vote in eviction. Victoria is unanimously evicted. I don't think many of us were shocked by that, especially by the way they were dressed. I think she kind of knew as well.
They told her last
She
night.
exits with a group hug. She exits like with her, her spicy V. Everybody's clapping, which I thought was very nice. And, she talks to Arissa. Arissa talks about, where did you go wrong? She said, I got messy. I didn't tie up loose ends. And one thing I thought was like, I thought it was a little bit odd was like Arissa asking what was the most shocking thing. And she kind of went on a tangent about it not being rigged and it being authentic. But yeah, we have Victoria gone, which is kind of weird. I feel like she's a big pivotal person in this season. So without her, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of quieter. But how do we feel about a Victoria eviction?
Go ahead, Hira.
So I think, yeah, it was big. But I do not think this is the last I feel like there's gonna be a battle back. Like that. I tweeted it out, I think I tweeted it out earlier this week or last week. There were 14 house guests. It just makes sense for them to have a battle back. And this would be great for Victoria's, like, it sucks. She's such a big player. It's great that they got her out. And if she ends up coming back in that house and does damage, man, she's gonna go down as one of the greats in Big Brother.
I will just say they told her last night that they were voting for her, which led to more amazing campaigning on her part. Again, I truly think anybody that wants to study an almost perfect character, like if you want to be a character, and like you said, Hira, guarantee you're coming back. Victoria pretty much just wrote the book on how you guarantee to be asked back on this show. Never giving up, always fighting, being a big personality, not afraid to make moves, all of those things. So, yes, it was devastating to see her go. I agree that there probably will be a battle back. However, if there is not, we also
Mhm.
talked about, I believe it was last week or so, how Victoria echoes Rachel Riley a lot. So what I would really love to see is a fun little punishment where we put Victoria in the house to torment the people for 24 hours. That's what I want to see. Put her in that house just for 24 hours and have her get to torture that house. You got me out? You think you're okay? Oh, eat all their food. Just do it. And she'll have a fight with Braden because they, last night, after they told her, she walked right out of the HOH room and was like, "Congratulations, Braden. You ruined my game." And Braden wasn't even having it. He was like, rolled his eyes. So, I mean, I think we could have a lot of echoes of a Rachel Riley, "I'm back, bitches," with her.
I think I'm actually excited now because there is a battle back. The two people already in it are Victoria and Ro, two people who are gonna passionately fight to come back, and if they do, are gonna passionately fight to stay. Like, not to be rude to anybody else, but there have been people in the past that you're like, oh, there's a battle back, they'd probably be, bumped out. But Ro and Victoria, they've won stuff already. Both of them, they're both very like raw. So I think we'd have it'd be like the fight of the century so far.
Yeah,
That's
that would
exciting.
be it would be a great battle back if it happens. Like if it's between the first three jurors, like third one could be whoever. I don't know. We'll see who it is. But between those two, that would be because they both want to be in there so bad. They're both competitive. They're both very smart and strategic. To have either one of them back would be amazing. Because sometimes you see battle backs and someone wins, then and they don't really. You're like, oh, you're not that excited about them coming back. So these two, we have good odds of being excited about one of them coming back
I
if
mean,
that happens. But and also speaking to Eric's point of like how Victoria campaigned, yes, last night, it was great. Like I watched that on the live feed. She did a great job, like literally listing every point to the Sunsetters. It just wasn't enough. I guess they don't believe her. I think they just believe she's way too strong because her points are really good.
I
What?
mean, I don't see there being a battle back because of COVID. I agree with the people in the chat that are saying that. For that reason, I don't think there will be a battle back. Um, oh, and I had one more point and now it slipped my mind. But yeah, I don't think that there will be a battle back because of COVID.
Okay, maybe. I mean, aren't they still like tested in jury? Okay, but maybe. True, true, true. On that note, because we're talking about Roe, this brings us to the double eviction segment, the second eviction. It all starts to unravel. Obviously, we start with an HOH comp, which I just thought was the cutest thing because they all had their little shoes off. And I'm like, why do they have their shoes off? This is weird. And I was like, oh, so you can't hear the person next to you, whether they're stepping up or stepping down on like the before after pedestals. So I just thought that was cute. I don't like feet, but I don't know why I noticed that. But we start with that. And of course, lo and behold, we have a keeper HOH, which me not thinking it through, I jump up out of my chair, I start screaming, he did it, I love keeper. And I didn't think what I had mentioned a couple shows ago, that he would probably go right down the middle after Roe and Braden. But before realizing that, I was happy for a keeper win. What did we think about HOH winner?
He, Kiefer, he's making a case now. Like he's doing well. I'm not too much of a fan of his, but he's growing on me now. He's growing on me. Uh, he's taken out now Kyle and Rohan. That's huge, and he's in a good place where he's in the middle between TNT and the Sunsetters. I think he has a good path to the end if everything aligns up for him well. So
Fingers crossed.
but I was so pissed. I was like, fuck, man, he had to win. He's taking on my boy Ro, and I was hoping Ro would win the veto there, but it can't win
I
them
don't
all.
know why I didn't click it. I think, with all due respect, because I didn't want Ty or Jed or Beth, like kind of that steamroll. I always forget he's with them. So like I had this moment of like, yay, like, he's gonna go after the boys. And then I realized, and what's funny is as a viewer watching it, I'm like, such a good chance to take out the boys, just put them up. If Ty takes himself down, you throw Beth up there. Now one of them's gone. However, as a player, if I was Kiefer, he did what I would probably do of like, all right, I'm okay with Tina and Tara. I'm okay with them three. Let's just go right down the middle after Ro and Brayden. So I can't fault him, but it's still frustrating.
Oh, he's had a thing. He's had a thing to get out Ro since that pantry meeting. Like he's got a vendetta against Ro. You knew he was coming after Ro the moment he won.
That's why it's the pantry.
Ever since then, he's like I've noticed from I guess some of the clips I see on Twitter on the live feeds, he just seems like he has it out against Ro. Every time Ro wins the skip the dishes, he's like, oh man, this guy is Canada's favorite. He can't be. I'm Canada's favorite. He kind of has like this rivalry against him, and it's a little weird, which is why I wasn't too much of a fan. He's growing on me now because he's doing well, like competitively, and he's also got good alliances. But the question is going to be, is he going to turn on Ty and Jed eventually?
I don't know.
You don't know, you're correct. It sounded like a minute ago you said that you said it a few shows ago. I think what you were referring to is what our good pal Liza tweeted out during the episode tonight, which was, Eric, you were correct. You called it exactly what a key for HOH would look like is what happened. I said if Kiefer won, those are the two people that are going up. Ro is going. And while you are correct, it did start in the pantry. It continued with Kiefer playing both sides and him getting information on Ro and what Ro's plans are. And that Ro was going to essentially go after him. Because we do always say Jed, Ty, and Beth, and forget Kiefer is part of that four. So that is why he's anti. That is why he is anti Ro. And the only person left, like I said, Kiefer wins this game now unless he gets exposed, honestly, in my opinion. Jed, Ty, Beth, never going after him as long as Brayden, Tina, and Tara are there, and vice versa. Tara, Tina, and Brayden are never going after him as long as Jed, Beth, and Ty are there. So unless Kiefer gets exposed, he is able to ride this middle all the way to the end, and I guess good on him. I guess good for Kiefer.
Do it.
Yeah, very impressive, and he's got a good path. Just like Beth, he's got a good path to the end if he can. I could see a Beth and Kiefer final two. I don't want to see it, but it could happen.
You don't want to see it, but you can see it. No, so with Kiefer being the HOH, he does nominate Bray and Ro, like we're saying. Veto comes along, and here's where Nicole screwed up again. I don't know why, but I assumed Brayden was on the end, so I thought Brayden won the veto. And at that point, because I saw how Ro was really struggling, so I'm like, all right, as long as one of them wins, I'm curious to see who Kiefer would make a replacement nom. Which side would he flip on? And I honestly thought Brayden won it, so I started screaming. And then I'm like, why is Beth jumping on Brayden? And I was like, oh my God, it's Ty. So I think, fate was sealed and I got sad. And then I was mad the rest of the episode and I refused to speak about it.
Yes, Nicole, remind me again, what was your major argument with me yesterday about Ty again? Was it that he didn't win anything? He didn't.
Oh, I texted my sisters right after. I'm like, the one freaking week where he suddenly decides that he wants to win something, Ty. Damn it.
Yeah, he did. He first of all, it appeared to me I mean, now granted, this is edited and this is not happening live, so we do need to remember that. In other words, the zoom-ins of Roe, like Ty was basically at the end, and then we're like cutting to Roe, and he's like at the beginning of the board still. And I'm like, please tell me this is just them creating a moment for this edit and not that Roe is not caring. Because to me, it looked like he was like, oh, let me go through the maze. Whereas Ty was like, his life depended on getting it to the end of that thing. I was surprised to see Roe be so nonchalant about getting it through that maze. Just seemed like, "Meh, meh." I mean, I guess is that just me? You didn't feel that happen?
Yeah, that's I was expecting, like, I thought that comp was gonna be suited for Roe pretty well. Like he's a smart guy. He's like some marketing strategist or something. But I thought it was suited for him, and I was like, whoa, what the heck's going on? He's came out and he got stuck on the first move, I think. It just
And he just
didn't
didn't
work out for him.
recover.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I would say, like, it looked like he got stuck and then didn't recover. And I think he was just in his head like, I'm gone. They want me gone. I fought for weeks. I fought for weeks. I fought for weeks. I think it's just like it finally catches up with you. And I'm just happy that like he won a veto for himself last week. Like I feel like the 2 weeks prior, he won them when he didn't necessarily need them. So I'm just happy it wasn't like he won it when he didn't need it, won it when he didn't need it, and then lost it. I'm glad at least last week he did win it for himself and prove that he could win it for himself. And it's like, no, you did it for 3 weeks straight. Like, don't, like, keep your chin up. Like, he did it. I'm very proud of him. I want Roe to win, and I'm no longer saying who I want to win because every time I say it, they go home. Every time.
That's how it always goes. Same with me. I was like, whenever I'm rooting for somebody, they always end up going home.
Yeah. It is, I mean, look, I am seeing updates, which two things I wanted to say before. If you want to watch the fight unedited at BBCAN9 live feeds on Twitter, has the whole fight on their Twitter timeline for you can watch it unedited. But also I see they're saying Courtney in chat right now, I believe is saying that Beth. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it was Destiny's, is saying now Beth on the feeds is saying she needs to get Kiefer out after that win. So maybe it is not true. They are apparently now starting to focus on Kiefer.
So Beth won?
No, I guess just hearing like the rumblings of like, oh no, I guess no, they
Who's
probably
HOH?
just are back. They probably are back, but haven't done the next HOH yet.
I feel like they would have. I wonder. I don't know.
Oh, no,
Maybe.
actually, that's a good point. They would have had to have done it yet. They would have had to
Yeah.
have done it already. I don't know. We're
Oh,
live,
so I
so I
think
don't know what's happening on the feeds. I can only go with what chat is.
Tell us who's HOH.
Tell
yeah,
us.
it's got to be one of the three then, if that's the type of.
HOH
We'll
is
see, but
tomorrow. Chat is saying HOH is tomorrow.
Oh, so they're just hypothetically? Is that a verb? They're hypothetically right now. I just made up that word. No, but speaking of like, so Ty wins the veto. Good for him. He won a comp. I'm excited for him. And he talks to Roe, and Roe's like, I'm better for your game. I'll always be a bigger target than you. Do you really want to go to the end with a Jed and a Beth? And he's like, you know what, man? You're probably right. And I was like, oh, he's gonna keep him. Yay. I don't know why I assumed that. I think it was just my heart trying to make it happen. Then, of course, Braden campaigns. Again, myself forgetting Braden is someone who's been working with them. And Braden's just like, listen, I've been working with you. I've been on your guys' side all this time. And Ty's like, yep, I don't want to blow anything up. So I was like, oh, okay, it's a done deal. But I still had that little sparkle of hope when he stood up with his little veto.
Nicole, he had no chance. He had no chance against the Sunsetters. Like, come on. I'm like the Sunsetters had two. The plan was to get Roa last week and Victoria next. It just happened to be the other way, and it worked out perfect for those guys. They're like, this couldn't have been more ideal for them. It was perfect for them. And Ro had no chance. If Victoria could not convince them over a span of a week, this Ro could not. He's not going to convince them in like 10 minutes.
I feel the same way, but I feel like Arissa kind of called Ro out. Like I feel like there was a
Yeah,
lot of like Victoria references in Ro's eviction, which I kind of felt bad for because it's his eviction. No offense, not hers. But I feel like it was kind of like, hey, Victoria fought tooth and nail. Why didn't you? But I was like, no, he did what he could. You kind of know at that point how the tide is turning,
yeah. The man had 10 minutes, and he's not gonna convince the three of them when they've been talking about getting Ro out. Like pretty much it's been public throughout the house to get Ro out for so long now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
sad.
sad. Mm-mm.
It's sad.
I refuse to come.
I'm mourning for the feeds. I'm mourning for all of it. I will say this right now as well, for all of you watching live. Make sure you go to the Hello Friends Twitter and Instagram account when this show ends so that you can put your questions for Victoria and Rohan. You have a few hours to do that. We will ask them the best ones in the morning when we interview them.
Say hi to them for me.
We're not allowed.
I
It's
can't.
jury.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get in trouble with Ro because I'm gonna be like,
Now it gets so
Just like
awkward.
But now, who do you guys think is gonna be what are your guys' predictions for final two?
oh man, final two. I am gonna put out there. I am gonna. I don't want to say who I wait. Who I want or who I think.
Who you think?
I think I have a weird feeling we're gonna see like a Beth and like Ty. I think Jed's gonna go a little bit earlier because when someone else finally does get the power, I think they're gonna get him out because I feel like he's the most powerful of the three, and I think we're gonna be left over with like a Beth and a Ty. That's just I don't know. What about you guys?
Well,
Eric?
I see that Becca was asking that question of Hira. Who do you think will win? Who do you want to win?
Okay. All right. We'll do both. I think so. Who I want to win is Ty. I want Ty to win now.
Yeah.
And I think, and I want so in the final two, I want it to be Ty and Jed. I want them to be in the final two,
Yeah.
and I want Ty to win. But who I think is going to be in the final two, I think it's going to be Beth and Kiefer, and I think Kiefer's gonna win. That's
Who I want is I want to throw it back to Premiere because I like things that come full circle. I want a Kiefer and a Tina, and Kiefer wins. Like our two team leaders, they started the season, they will end the season. It came full circle. It's not your stereotypical those three people that are really like steamroll, even though Kiefer's a part of them. I don't know. I want like I don't know the stereotypical underdog to win.
I want Brayden and Ty is the final two, and that's who I want. Who do I think will be the final two? Ty and Jedson, and I hope Ty wins it all.
I think he would. I really think he would. I think he has a better social game than Jed.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
think
basing
Ty
mine
would.
at all on game. I'm just have a horrible crush on him.
He's charismatic. Like he's. I think he. Yeah, as Nicole said, his social game's good. Like he connects with a lot of people more than Jed. And I think Jed's gonna get caught up in this whole showman's going forward. Like he's in love.
Jed's arrogance gets in the way. Even this whole Beth's HOH, like Jed is like, no offense, like up there like king. Like everybody talk to me. Beth hasn't made her decision yet. Beth has not spoken to anybody yet. It's like, what are you like the gatekeeper and you let people talk to Beth? So I think that arrogance is what will get him targeted first. And again, if he is at the end with Ty, I think that arrogance will make people lean toward Ty, and I think Ty's been doing a better job socially.
Yeah, I agree. He's like Jed's gonna be seen as a duo with Beth, not Ty anymore. And so Ty is in a better spot. Yeah.
And Ty has done really well with the people who have been evicted so far. Victoria felt Ty was on his side, and her side, and would have wanted her to stay. He,
Mhm.
I feel, understands why Ty didn't use that POV, versus all I could think was when Ro was kind of walking out and the camera cut to Kiefer, and Kiefer was like he just had this face on, like, this is my face of, I'm sad about what I did to you. And I just want to be like, you're so fake, Kiefer. See right through your face. I just he's annoying. And Victoria's never. Like, once the information starts getting to jury that Kiefer was working with Tina, that Kiefer was telling Tara stuff, done. He is not getting Victoria's vote. He is not getting Rose's vote. I think Kiefer has no chance to win. I said, do I think he can make it to the end? 100%. But you cannot play the middle, play both sides, and think that you're going to get any votes when you get exposed. Because people are bitter.
So
But
that's very, very.
Arissa did ask Ro who he thought was gonna win, and he said Kiefer. Surprisingly, I was shocked about that
He
because
doesn't
I
know
thought
anything
they
yet.
don't. Huh?
What
Pardon?
did you say?
Me?
Yes.
I just said he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Kiefer
Oh.
was playing both sides yet. Once that information comes out, I think he's going to feel differently.
And
Okay.
he said what? He wants Brayden to win. What was? We didn't see any. Oh, obviously because it's double eviction, we didn't see any goodbyes to Ro.
Nope.
But they didn't show us any goodbyes to Victoria, which I really, really would have liked to see. I would have liked to see how people present themselves to her, especially a Beth. Like, how would she pivot that? Tara, I'd be interested what her counter would be. Kiefer, if he would, maybe he did reveal in his goodbye speech, this is what's been going on. But I do agree that I think Kiefer would be met with a lot of bitter boots.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah.
100% too. I see a lot of people asking, so that said, who do we hope wins the next HOH?
Who wants to go first?
I want to see a Tina or Tara because everybody, Kiefer can't, but Kiefer's with them. Brayden's essentially with them. I want to see a Tina or a Tara just to mix it up and get one of them gone. If one of them, Brayden or Beth or Ty or Jed win, the nominees are like Tina, Tara. So I think just for the sake of let's mix it up, I would like to see a Tina or a Tara win it.
I want to see Brayden win it because I don't know what he will do. That's one. I want to see Brayden or Tina win because Tina's kind of supposedly still in that alliance, and Brayden is close with them, and I think they might take a shot at their supposed alliance with those big three guys, or the Sunsetters. So I'm interested to see what they will do. That's why I want to see Brayden or Tina win.
I do not want Brayden because I don't want him to have more of a target on him than Victoria already put on him when he left. I would like to see a Tina or a Tara. I think both of them have zero chance to win this game anyway. So take a bullet for my Brayden and get out a Ty, a Jed, or a Beth.
You know what? I'm also just going to do a special shout out to Tara, who none of us named for Final Two. That's all the more reason why I would like to see her there, because so many people are not even mentioning her. So that's why I would like to see her there. Imagine Tina and Tara are Final Two. I would have to stand up and applaud. Oh, you guys
I imagine it.
Laugh.
Ooh, imagine unicorns are real. Yeah, I imagine. Imagine
that Final Two. That would be
exactly.
crazy. I did say
stand up.
I was on I did a chat with Jessica from BBUS, and this was the preseason picks. We were doing a little show on her YouTube channel, and I picked Tara for my Final Two in the preseason. I gotta say, but I don't see that happening, Nicole. Those two in the Final Two, that would be a shocker.
But if it did happen, we'd all have to be like, damn. Somehow they did it, right? They're outnumbered.
Yeah, anyone that gets to the finals, man, I got props to you. Kudos. Like,
Yeah,
I'm holding out
100%.
hope.
But by the way, I think, just in case anyone gets confused, I love them as people. I said Tara was probably one of my favorite people preseason, as that I said that about LaToya. And then we watched LaToya play, and I went, she's going pre-jury. She's playing too hard, too fast. And I also can say, Tara not that great at this game. But I still love them as people. I just don't think their games are great.
Uh,
Because they're not.
uh,
This is why they're in the
fair.
position they're in.
Yeah, which is what most people feel like. I feel like too. Yeah, most people feel that way.
Yeah.
do they do Canada's favorite player?
Yeah, they do.
They
I
do?
think so. I think no. I think so.
No, I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure they
No.
don't.
Oh,
Like
that's a shame.
the same. No,
I
they
just
don't.
tell people, see when people ask about BBCAN8, I'm like, Hira, the favorite. That's just what I say. I was gonna ask who you think the favorite would be, but nobody. I guess they don't do it. But I guess it would be Victoria, though.
It's
No.
Victoria, clearly.
You think? I think it could be Rohan. You never know.
Oh my god! I turn on Ro so quickly. I do what Ro.
It could be Ro.
I don't know.
Or
No.
I think it could be Ro or Ty. For some reason, Ty for like one. I think we'll see a lot more of Ty going forward, and people are gonna love him even
Well,
more.
let's do it. We'll do it. We'll create
Let's do it.
when we're at finale week, when we're at the last week of the show, let's create like a online poll of who we would give the America's, or we won't say America, we'll just say the favorite player award to. We'll put it out there, we'll do the votes, and then we'll make a little award for them.
Sounds
Love
good.
that. I'm also biased toward like Josh and Julie, like the early evictees. Can we do participation trophies and everybody gets one?
No,
No,
no, we can't. No, we
Come on.
cannot. Well,
Are we sure Nicole isn't Canadian or something? She's just wants to
she's
hand out
something, all right.
participation trophies.
She's
I
something.
think in a previous life I was, to be honest.
Yeah,
I should
probably.
move to Canada.
Well,
Fit right in.
she would fit right in. Well, I thank you so much for taking time out to come and chat with us tonight, Hira.
Thank you both of you for having me and anytime.
Now,
We love having you.
where can people follow you on social media if they want to keep up with what you're up to?
I've been tweeting like a maniac on this BBCAN9 season. So you can keep up on Twitter and Instagram. Both handles are Hira Deol 10. Simple. That's it.
And we will put the links below this video. Of course, again, remember to follow, like, and subscribe wherever you guys are watching. Now that we've reached the end of the show, you can share it with someone that you think might like it. And of course, check out our website, hellofriendspod.com, for all of our socials, for all of these things and more. Nicole, final thoughts?
And final thoughts. I'll take some of it from chat. Thank you so much, Hira. You're the best. Rob, last season, we love hearing from you. Appreciate your perspective. We second and third that a million times over. Absolutely love you. Like I said, wanted to see you win it last year. Want to see you get favorite last year. Want to see you in that house again. I know you will be. I feel it. Love you lots, and you're the best.
Thank you.
Yay.
I appreciate the kind words. I love you guys always, and anytime I'm ready to talk BBCAN9 with you guys.
Perfect.
Sure.
Don't forget to go get your questions in for Victoria and Ro right now on the Hello Friends socials. We'll see you guys back. We have shows for you all tomorrow and weekend. So yay. And Mitch is joining us next week. Mitch Muffet will be joining us next week. So we're excited about that. We'll see you guys soon. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, guys.